What's up? You're welcome back to What Do You Know About a Mortgage? I'm your host, Jeff Hargrove, here with the Gaylord Hanson team, sponsored from Loan Depot, where we jump into a subject of what do you know about mortgages, but really we bringing on some cool people to tell about their life situations, their stories, highlight them, like my man Nori's made popular. We giving them their flowers, man. So we really have a special guest in the house tonight, someone who I really have gotten to know as a brother. Very good dude, man. One of the smartest people I've known, the weirdest people I've known, the most eclectic people I've ever met, and one of the most truest and honest people I've ever met. My brother, director, screenwriter, Chris Charles Scott. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm very happy to be here.
I am happy to be here.
Very happy to be
Very
here.
happy to be. I will never forget this moment. So Chris is a hell of a director, screenwriter. I'm going to run down, just in case for those who live under a rock and don't know my brother yet. Chris started in 2017 with a documentary, but before that, let's back up. Undergrad at Baylor. Shout out to Baylor Nation.
Sick'em Bears, national champs in basketball.
Yeah. I see y'all doing your thing. Spent some time. Almost thought he was going to be a pastor at one point.
Thought I was going to be a preacher, and a professor, and then I moved to Vegas.
Say it, Lord.
Have mercy.
Have mercy. Chris got into directing and filming, and first film that I know that you really touched and hit deep with was What About Waco in 2017.
Yes.
You had another one that hit Shape of Shreveport, which won you an award in Louisiana, I believe.
Won the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities for Documentary of the Year. And that was actually my first documentary. I didn't know how to make documentaries.
Right.
I
and that
Googled how to make documentaries. And
you didn't even know how to...
Hey Siri, how do you make a documentary?
We're going to jump into that. And then now your most recent project that has jumped board into you is Class Action Park on HBO Max. For those who have not seen it yet, please go see it. It is a wild documentary. I didn't even know. I'm from Ohio area, man, where we got Cedar Point, and that's one of the best theme parks in the world. But when we talk about most dangerous theme parks, I didn't even know this type of stuff existed.
It was
in Jersey. And let's just be honest with you, New York is dope, but Jersey's Jersey. And I respect to Jersey, all my Jersey people, but y'all different. And that theme park was just so... I mean, people died there, massive injuries, casualties.
It continued to maim children, and it stayed open for years. You cannot imagine a place like that being open now with the litigious nature of America now and how parenting is. Like when I grew up in the 80s, if you came home with a broken arm, my grandma would say, "What do you do?
What did you do?"
Not who did this to you.
So with that being said, and let's touch on Grandma. Give me your upbringing. Give me your roots. I know you're from New Chapel Hill, Texas, I believe.
Yeah, so New Chapel Hill, Texas is a town of 533 people.
One stoplight for real?
No stoplight.
No stoplights. Speed limits, nothing.
Nothing. I mean, we didn't find out slaves were free until 1983.
God damn, man. Jesus.
Yeah, everybody in my town think Reagan freed slaves. And so it's a small town. I was raised by my grandmother, my great aunt, my grandmother's name Costelle Scott's my dad's mom, and my dad's aunt, her name was Eldoris Houston. These were two great ladies, and they raised my brother and I and a cousin in New Chapel Hill on a black farmer salary.
Right.
And we made it work. I mean, we didn't know we were poor.
You never do.
We didn't know we were poor.
You never do.
We harvested all. We grew all of our food. We harvested our food, and we ate well. I mean,
Sure.
I continue to eat well. And so it was just a very simple upbringing.
Yeah.
The Baptist church was the center of your life.
As all black communities.
The Bible was the only academic book you had in the house. You picked peas in the summertime, picked watermelons, and we worked.
Simple life.
It was a simple life with good people, man.
Now, it sounds like the matriarch, which a lot of black households, including mine, my grandmother raised me. I was adopted. Yeah. My grandmother had raised me. And that will never not be a part of who I am when I look at women and how I treat women and how I... So it sounds like you had that strong backing from your matriarchal chart. Explain.
Yeah, I mean, the black family sent around some matriarchs of the family. And me being raised by my grandmother, my great aunt, that was the break I needed.
Yeah.
They were old enough to understand how to raise children, but also old enough to let you bump your own head and scrape your own knees.
Yeah.
And There was no babying.
Not quick to baby you.
Not quick to baby.
Yeah.
And I look back on that time. I feel like you can draw a straight line from where I am today to New Chapel Hill, Texas. Population 533 people. And my family, we were a large family. And so we all
so about 400 of them was your family.
All of them were my
family.
Cousins,
Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had no choice but to date cousins. Right. And so we all lived in houses that were right next to each other. This shirt that I'm wearing, W.O. Kiss Em, is an intermediate school named after my uncle in my hometown. And so my family was my uncle was on the school board. My other uncle owned our grocery store. Right. And so just sort of always grew up in this family, these people that just always looked out for one another.
Sure.
And so, can you say ass on here?
If you want to. You just did.
Yeah. So, I mean, you get one ass whooping at school, you got several when you got home.
Yeah.
That's not a myth. I mean, that's what
real.
happened.
The neighbor might even beat your ass.
My neighbor spanked better than anybody.
Come on now.
So, shout outs to her. But yeah, it was it's a country town with just country people, hardworking people, but it wasn't a place that, as we began to modernize, as we began to get older, it just wasn't a place.
It didn't grow.
I just flew back from there today.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
So this is fresh for you.
Fresh. And so I was home yesterday. My brother had another little girl. That's 5 for him now.
Shout out to you, brother. You'll be working the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. He has too many kids. And so I was just down there. It's just not a place where if you wanted something better, you just could not.
You have to
stay.
go. You have to go, unfortunately.
You gotta go.
Steubenville, Ohio, my hometown's the same way.
Yeah.
Population about 20,000, so a little bit more than yours, but there was no more growth for what I needed. And a lot of other people needed, especially when the mills closed down during that whole Rust Belt area, Pittsburgh, Youngstown. It really affected the population, and drug use became higher. So I totally understand where you. Now the next town over for you would be Tyler, Texas. Is that correct?
Tyler, Texas?
Okay. Is that Jamie Foxx's?
That's Terrell, Texas, which is about 30 miles west of Tyler.
So at some point in Texas, they were just like, "Hey, Terrell, Tyler,
Tyrone
ain't get one.
Yeah, Tyrone
ain't get a city.
But keep trying, Tyrone. The times have changed.
Keith, you're up next, Keith. We got you a city coming to Texas, Keith. All right. But other than that, okay, when you pivoted, what made you decide your future was Baylor? Were you a Baylor fan as always? I know a lot of people in Texas grew up UT or Texas A&M.
So the Baptist church been centered around our community.
Okay.
And the most learned person in our community was the pastor.
Of course.
I thought that's what I have to be. If I want to be a learned individual who drove a nice Cadillac.
This is the path.
Okay. And so growing up, I just always wanted to be the pastor. I admired my pastor, St. Violent Baptist Church in New Chapel Hill, Texas. Our pastor's still alive. He was very influential in sort of my the pursuit of my passions.
Okay.
And theology, therefore, became the spark to all of my academic pursuits. I played football, but I had like a 3-digit number and a T-bone helmet.
He had a 3-digit number.
And I didn't really get on the field much.
He had an area code jersey.
Yeah, I had an area code. I was 702.
Chris is crazy.
I remember the first football game my senior year. I'm like hyped up on the sideline. Like, yeah, man, it's first game. I hope I get in. And then I was like, what position do I play? Like if I was to actually get put in, what position? I know this is the exact opposite interview of Jerome Saps. But I did not even know what position I played in football.
For those people who may not know, we've all been to sporting events. There's always 2 or 3 guys that are super hyped. And they're never getting in.
Getting in.
Chris is saying he was one of those guys.
I didn't even get in on special teams. And so I wasn't athletic in the sense that I could pursue an athletic scholarship.
No, but you did it with your mind.
So I knew,
much more impressive.
I knew I had to get out of Chapel Hill somehow, and I had these aspirations. And I had a buddy, a good white family, the Noons and Jack Noon and his mom Connie and his dad David, who sort of put their arms around me and said, we're going to help you out as well.
Cool.
And I was asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? I said, I want guess I'll be a Baptist preacher. And they said, well, you got to go to Baylor. And so as a kid, I just thought I'm gonna go to Baylor. Unfortunately, after I graduated, my grandmother who had raised me was ill. Did not want to move off to college, so I stayed a couple of years at TJC, Tyler Junior College, and my grandmother unfortunately passed. She passed the summer of 2006.
Rest in peace.
No, she passed the summer of 2001. I graduated in 1999. I knew I did not want to go back to a junior college in Tyler, Texas.
Sure.
I had an aunt, her name was Rosemary Merritt. She was raised in the same sort of town, country-ass town that I was. She married a guy who had done very well. They had a house on Cape Cod. And she goes, Chris, if you get up here, you have a bed. Okay. So I drove a 93 Grand Prix from New Chapel Hill, Texas, to West Barnstable, Massachusetts, to stay with them. I thought it was going to be a year. Okay. And my aunt was an educator, and she was strict, extremely strict. What time I had to come in. I had to work 2 jobs. Oh, wow. She took my whole paycheck. Damn. She was intense. I thought she was the meanest person ever. And when I didn't, so since she was involved in with the academic community there, I would skip my English class. And I would get home. She goes, why weren't you in English? And I was like, Jesus Christ, you know.
She ain't playing.
At all. But after that semester, my grades were like tight. And she was
she had a regimented plan.
Oh, yeah.
She knew you lacked some parts of discipline.
Yeah.
That were going to steer you in the right. And even though it seems extreme, obviously.
I thought she was
She actually did you a favor.
I was like,
by disciplining you this way because it built your discipline factor.
And I didn't know what she was doing. I know what she was up to. Right.
Did she end up giving the money back ever?
Yes, I was going to get to that.
I was going to say, because we can go rob her right now. I mean,
I want all of my money.
But just holler at me off camera, bro.
I got it. You know people, don't you?
I know some people that know some people.
So
Frankie knows some people, too. Frankie knows some people.
Help me out,
Hey, forget about it, Frankie. Yeah. Hey.
He's a bird of prey. I applied for 3 schools. Okay. Notre Dame, Boston College, and Baylor. I got into Baylor. I just spent 1 semester in Cape Cod. I got into Baylor. Then drove that same 93 Grand Prix
all the way
from Massachusetts to Waco, Texas. And I started Baylor in January of 2002.
Yeah. Shout out to Baylor. You're the first actual person I've ever met that went to Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor got a great representation in Chris. And the representation was always media for me that I know a lot of colleges, not just you or Baylor I'm picking on, but flashing back how far Baylor has come to this date. 2003, they had a bad case with the basketball team where it was a murder situation.
We're bringing this up.
Yeah, we're bringing this up, absolutely. Because there's a point to it.
Yeah.
Triumph, overcoming things, rising from the dirt. And it segues into your documentary I'm about to do. So Chris is actually doing a documentary for the Baylor men's basketball team that just won the national championship again. Shout out to y'all, sick 'em. You know what I mean? Go get them. But before that basketball team and program was almost diminished. Almost got the death penalty. I won't pivot onto the football situation because that has nothing to do with your documentary. But Baylor was going through a lot of turmoil within these past 10, 12, 15 years. For them now to get over that hump and for you to be shooting this new documentary, winning the national basketball championship, putting them back on the map, how great does that feel for you as an alumni and just as a fan?
Man, in 2003, I was going into my senior year in Baylor, and I was working in the administration building that summer when all this went down. Wow. And imagine, there's like only 30 black people on Baylor's campus, and when one is killed and the other one killed him, that left 28. And so we were down that year. It was sad. It was sad. And I'm like, what do we do now? We were going to get the death penalty in basketball, but we recruited this coach, 32-year-old guy out of Valparaiso, Indiana, by the name of Scott Drew. He actually wanted the job. And at his first press conference, he said Baylor will win a national championship, and come 18 years later, there he goes. And if we're trying to find some sort of philosophical theme in all of this or just life application, is that A, hire well, B, stick with it. Stick with the process. This is a process. This is a long process.
Absolutely.
I have friends who are like, I want to start this, I want to start that. And when they see your success, I go, Chris, man, I wish I could make my own hours. I wish I could travel whenever I want to.
It's the iceberg of success. They never see the time put in, the failures.
Man, I didn't even have enough for ramen noodles.
I feel you.
And I mean, there were times where I was like, I remember when I decided to, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead.
But you're walking right into our segment, and I'm going to stop you right here.
Yeah.
And this segment is called Bet on Yourself.
Yeah.
All right, so in this segment, you're walking right into, which is beautiful. We ask you, what was the pivoting point in your life where something, you could have been doing the same thing and it had been mundane, it had been just life as most people know it. Very few people actually live every day.
Yeah.
They're awake, they're walking through the motions, but they don't live life every day. And it's because most of the time they're bogged down by their own insecurities or interpretations to go get it. What was something that allowed you the momentum to say, or what in your mind chose you to say, I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to go this direction? Before we all know now that you're successful doing it, no one had any idea if it was going to be successful or not. When did that moment happen for you, and how?
The great black theologian Howard Washington Thurman said, we don't need people who just live. We need people who are truly alive.
Facts.
And that always settled on me. I have been fired from every job I've ever had.
Wait, you've been fired?
Fired from every job I've ever had. I'm talking about from summer job in high school.
Chris, you might set a record. I don't think I've known anybody that's ever been fired from every
job. And justifiably fired. Like, these were not unfair firings. Like, these HR had their T's crossed, their I's dotted. When the time they said, Chris, we're going to let you go, we need your 5. I'm like, you know what? Fair. God bless you for letting me stay 2 or 3 months longer than what
you should have been.
Than what I should have been. Thanks for giving me a little nest egg.
But if you weren't fired, how did you? What was the pivoting moment?
Well, that was the pivoting moment when you finally have to realize I'm not a good employee. Like, and I kept getting in trouble because I kept getting my hands slapped.
Were you trying to lead and dictate?
Just do other things. I didn't color inside the lines.
I got you.
And that spills over to my interpersonal. I'm weird. I'm a quirky person.
I told you, he's the most brilliant person I've ever met, and he's the most weirdest person.
Yeah, I'm weird.
And he knows it, but he's beautifully weird. It's a beautiful
This guy used to be the best wingman.
What did I tell you? I told you Chris's opening wingman game is legendary. Legendary. We're gonna bring Chris back. We have to have Chris back just for his opening lines. One day he played my father. I had to walk up to a group of girls and say, my father just got out of prison. He'd love to have a drink. First time out in 20 years. The girls are like, oh, okay, great. That's awesome. And Chris comes strolling over with his pick G'd up. Hey, ladies, they lost it. Oh, my God. You're so funny. I said, yo, he's the best wingman ever. Best opening game ever.
Yeah, and so I was just not a good employee. And I was like, you know what? I need to find something that sparks my interest. Yeah. And I was working for a creative agency here in town. I flew to a wedding in July of 2015. And it was my best friend from college. He's my last friend from college to get married. At Baylor, everyone gets married in their 20s.
When they're young.
Yeah, and so he was the last friend. Okay. And right before his bride walked out to go down the aisle, I was the one that knocked on her door and say, hey, it's time to come out.
Yeah.
And she came out. She was standing there with her father. She paused. And she goes, and her father goes, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, everything's perfect. Mm. I heard that and I saw that. And that sat on me. I said, what's my next is perfect moment? I'm not about to get married, but I know what she just felt.
You wanted that same feeling.
It was out there for me.
Right.
And I tell Elise Pendleton this all the time, that she sparked it.
She sparked it.
Shout
out to Elise Pendleton. You sparked that moment for my brother Chris.
I saw it, and I came back to Vegas, and I got fired. Or a mutual splitting. And then that same night, I left that firm. I flew to Louisiana in LLC strategery.
And did you know what direction you were going to go with it at first?
I did not. Or you
just wanted to start something?
Well, we were going to be a full-fledged creative agency. Like, I was going to do creative consulting, that type of stuff. Sure. And then I get down to Louisiana, And one of the first projects that we get is an oil company. They're having trouble recruiting C-suite type executives to Shreveport from Houston, from Dallas, where the bigger oil companies are, and where the status of being an oil person.
Okay.
And so they didn't want to move to Shreveport. So this oil company asked if I could make some videos about how great Shreveport
is. Oh, okay.
And so I said, okay. How do you make a documentary? But I needed that money, though. I mean, at this point in time, I was about as broke as the 10 Commandments. I was like, I got to get this job. And so, I could do it, make video. Found a team down there, found an editor, found a camera guy, and we started digging into the history.
And not to cut you off, but for those that don't know you out there, you are one of the most resourceful people I know. This guy also was a part of Obama's campaign for getting Obama the presidency.
And Harry Reid, elected senator.
He will be the same guy in the room that knows 6 different senators and the crack dealer.
Yeah.
And they probably know the crack dealer too, but he happens to know everybody. The
senators actually introduced me to the crack dealers.
That's for another show.
Yeah.
We're going to get back into that later. It's called House of Cards 2, the brother version. But seriously,
House of Spades.
Chris is when you meet him, his energy's different, and that's why I really wanted you as a guest on here. I got to jump into our segment right quick. This is our segment called What Do You Know About a Mortgage? Because I'm going to give you the last end of this to kind of just go a little bit more into giving people your background where they can find some stuff at. So I'd rather get this out the way now so you can shine even better.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. What do you know about a mortgage? LTV 1, 2, 3. So here's what we got. All right, so you got 5 questions. Right. It's going to be true or false on some. Could be just your belief on yes or no.
Okay.
And if you get it right, we're going to clap for you.
I'm really good at this, so I hope.
If you get it wrong, Frankie's going to bite your neck.
Okay, all right, Frank.
Don't disrespect Frankie, man. Frankie's a thug. All right. Question number 1. At which stage can you lock in an interest rate? Is it at application, once you have a purchase contract, or at any time? At application, once you have a purchase contract, or at any time?
I'm going to say any time, Alex. What is any time? Oh, no.
To lock in an interest rate, you have to have, if you're buying a home, a purchase contract. If you're refinancing, that was a throw-off for you. It was the purchase.
That was it.
Right,
that's what I was
I'm one of them, like, you had to study the SAT and then be that one word that curves.
That's how
if it's a refinance, you can lock it in right off the dribble.
These are gotcha questions.
Question number 2. Let's get him. We're going to stump him. We're going to get him today.
I want to get one right.
Question number 2. Is your down payment and or closing cost the same thing? Is your down payment and or closing costs the same thing?
I'm going to say no, they're not the same thing.
Yeah! All right, let's go! Frankie, got one, baby, you got one. Yes, your down payment is separate from your closing costs. So when they say you have to put 3.5% down, 5% down, that is only your down payment. It does go towards the closing costs, but the closing costs are totally separate. Okay? So your EMD, your earnest money deposit, will go towards your closing costs, but your down payment is just the down payment. It is not the closing costs. All right, question number 3. Can your realtor donate money from their commissions towards your down payment? Oh, this is a tough one.
You know what? I'm going to say no. What realtor would do that? I'm going to say no. But my final answer is yes. Yes, they can. Things are weird in Nevada. Things are weird in Nevada.
Always stick with your first guess. Always stick with your first guess. Your realtor can contribute towards your closing costs, any part of their commission if you're lacking, not your down payment. Your down payment has to be sourced from you. Your down payment has to come from you. A realtor can help, it's a couple $1,000 if you're short, or if they just feel like they want to be nice and give it to you, or if you hustle and you
realtors do this? Is this a thing?
Trust me, on certain deals, you make $2 million, $3 million deal. If I'm going to give them some commission to help them offset it, and you ain't giving nothing, you ain't got nothing of $2 million. I got a percentage of that $2 million.
Huh?
You got to fight.
Fight
for your rights.
I thought I was going to come here and dazzle you guys with my personality, but here I'm learning.
Man, we're loving the vibe, baby.
I'm loving the more. I did not know this.
Question number 4.
Okay.
True or false?
All right.
Does making bi-weekly payments on your mortgage cut down on the years of your loan? True or false?
Ooh,
Does.
no.
Hold on. You just stop. You
Okay,
answer so quick.
sorry.
That's how you be messing up.
All right, sorry.
That's how you be messing up. True or false? Does making bi-weekly payments on your mortgage help cut down the years of your total frame for your mortgage?
I'm going to say it does not. Don't you have to refinance to get the years cut? Right?
Where did you get this guy from, man? We're going to educate him. He's going to learn today. It's true. If you make bi-weekly payments, you cut down on the interest accumulated monthly because you're making payments, so the interest doesn't build monthly. So over time, it may it could be 3 to 7 years, 3 to 5 years, but it will cut down on it. And yes, you can refinance and go to a 15 or a 20 if it makes sense. But yes, bi-weekly payments will help you cut down on the interest that accrues.
I don't math good.
Last question, and this one, woo! I don't know. This is your own personal choice, but I think I know where you're going. I think I know where you're going with this one.
Okay.
Question number 5. After we do our thing on the strip and we didn't have fun and we had a blast, we didn't gamble, we didn't drink, we didn't do whatever we was doing, are we going to Tacos y Gordo or Peppermill? Dum, dum, dum,
and these are the only options.
Tacos El Gordo? First of all, Tacos El Gordo is like, it's legendary Mexican right after the club. And Peppermill's an iconic place.
Okay,
so I can't give you 4 or 5.
So here are my problems.
We're just giving the people here Las Vegas props, right?
I'm going to pick which I would go to, but with a caveat.
Listen, keep it clean, Chris. It's still
I'm going to go to Tacos El Gordo.
Still on Tipo, Chris. Keep it clean.
Tacos El Gordo. But man, the lines to Taco El Gordo are just insane.
Yeah, of course.
It's insane.
But it's worth the wait, right?
Yeah, it's worth the wait.
So where are you going?
I'm going to go to Tacos El Gordo.
All right, Tacos El Gordo. Frankie's going taco.
Are they sponsored? Did I get the sponsor? Are they sponsoring?
Not yet. Hopefully, hey, Tacos El Gordo, when you hear this, holla at your boy. You know what I mean? Let's work it out. All right. With that being said, I'm going to leave the final minutes here that we got for you. Tell the people where they can find you, some of the projects that you're working on. Definitely make sure y'all check out Class Action Park on HBO Max. Go ahead and plug away all your stuff you got.
You can find me at 200 West Sahara.
What? Don't give out your address.
Oh.
No. Okay, we'll edit that out.
No, come find me. I'm on Instagram, Chris Charles Scott. Class Action Park is on HBO Max. We've got a couple cool documentaries coming out in the future that hopefully we come back in and plug that. But just as a parting word, man, just any people of color, anyone. Take risk on yourself.
Absolutely.
Even
on yourself.
I'm actually getting to the point now where I feel like I do need to be a homeowner.
Okay.
And dive into the whole mortgage thing, but I've just been so afraid of it.
We got you.
Just been so afraid of it for so long. But I've never regretted when I took a risk on myself, and it's always paid off. So.
Well, the beautiful thing is it's uneducation most of the time when we're feared of something. Anytime that I normally have a fear is because I'm unprepared for something, or I'm uneducated about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I step in. As your brother, I'm going to educate you. Brother, this is how we need to move. Here's all the information you need to have to make a right decision for you, right or wrong. You know, and that's in life in general. I salute everybody who has their brothers back, their sisters back, whatever. Let's educate each other more. Let's be about us more as a community of people, human beings in general. More accepting of faults, more accepting of people who don't understand things and help educate them on things. That's my piece. I said it. For the next episode, we have to tune in next time, man. We had a great show with Chris today.
Yeah, and get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated and put Vaseline on those ashy knuckles. We're going to leave it like that. Hey, we out of here. Love y'all, man. Peace.